teaching that there would be a secret rapture. Of course, wala. Secret nga eh. Right? Of the church. Kung alam mo, hindi secret. At a secret coming until this was given forth as an utterance. Ngayon, kinikredit nila kay Mr. Irving's church, yung Apostolic Catholic Church. Tuloy natin. From what was there, received as being the voice of the Spirit, but whether anyone ever asserted such a thing or not, it was from that supposed revelation that the modern doctrine and modern phraseology respecting it arose. Tuloy natin. It came not from Holy Scripture, but from that which falsely pretended to be the Spirit of God, while not owning in the same flesh and blood. Bakit mo? As his brethren, but without taint of sin. Bakit mo? Yan. Sabi niya, ni Tregeles, galing kay Irving Church. Pero 9 years earlier, before that, ang sabi niya, in 1855, attributed the doctrine to the Judaizers. Ano ba talaga? Kay Irving ba o sa Judaizers? So nagbabago siya ng posisyon. Right, tuloy natin. All Christians, of course, believe that what is taught in 1 Thessalonians 4 as to the raising of the dead in Christ when He comes, as this was known like by John, by those whom He addressed, their hope is that day not some secret advent or secret rapture to the Lord as Judaizers had supposed might be the case, but He's coming with every circumstances of publicity and manifest and glory. Ang mukhang sinabi natin kanina, the majority believe in the early church age in the post-trib because Jewish ang mindset of the coming Messiah. Right? They believe that there is the rapture sa tribulation. Dadaan sila ng tribulation. That's the Jewish mindset. Hindi natin. Kasi sasama sila sa Antichrist. Ang church, hindi natin makita Antichrist, right? Hindi natin makakasama yung Antichrist. In 1840, eto po, dalawang book, critical to. In 1861, si R. Norton published book that spoke about the revelation that Miss Margaret MacDonald of Port Glasgow, Scotland received. Dalawa yan eh. Una, kay John Irving doon sa England. And then the next speaking in tongues nangyari sa Scotland. Ito na si Margaret MacDonald. Okay? Since R. Norton spoke about 1830 in Scotland, it is evident that S.P. Tregeles, who spoke about 1832 and E. Irving's church, did not get his ideas from R. Norton's book. Si Tregeles po, hindi niya na po doon. Saan? Tuloy natin. S.P. Tregeles and B.W. Newton were both a part of the Plymouth Brethren. So, ibig sabihin, nakakasama nila si John Darby at nagdi-debate sila. Okay? S.P. Tregeles and B.W. Newton were both a part of the Plymouth, England gathering of the Christians and therefore had been in fellowship with J&D, John and Darby, for some time. In 1844, Newton began publishing his thoughts on the apocalypse, a post-tribulational work, to which J&D issued a series of written rebuttals. Nire-repeat ni John Darby yung position nilang post-trib. Then, Newton's book was a systematic attack on the resurgence of dispensational truth that had occurred in the mind of J&D. Though greatly opposed to J&D, Newton, look at this, never alleged a demonic source for the pre-trib rapture as J&D understood. Tignan nyo ito kalaban niya sa doctrine. Pero you will notice, hindi nila sinabihan galing sa demonic source yung teaching ni John Darby. Because they know na hindi galing doon. Kung meron silang malaking hole para masira yung teaching ni John Darby, ikokop nila yung demonic source. Pero never they did that. Kasama nila si John Darby sa church Diba? Okay? On the contrary, as we have already seen, it was Newton who claimed that about 1830, a Mr. Tweedy suggested 2 Thessalonians 2, 1 and 2 to J&D as proof of the Lord's immediate coming. Okay. During this period, sabi ni Newton, yung Mr. Tweedy na member din ng Plymouth Brethren, ang nag-suggest kay John Darby na the best text na makita mo dyan sa Brethren is 2 Thessalonians 2. Di ba the day of Christ? Di ba there are 7 days makita ka dyan? At I believe, ako person sa study ko, yung day of Christ that speaks of the judgment seat of Christ. Right? Ang rapture dyan, yung Philippians 1:6. The day of the Lord Jesus. Okay. As proof the Lord's immediate coming. So, ibig sabihin, study talaga ito ni John Darby. Hindi niya kinuha kung saan. This is an eyewitness account ng kanyang kalaban sa doctrine. Right? Hindi natin. Good. Writers in Watching and Waiting, etc., District Baptists, are supporters of Tregeles and Newton. Mga positive sila. Natin. The any moment secret rapture, retrieve or two-stage coming theory was taught by Edward Irving as a result of a vision received by a woman in his church. Ayan na. Itong mga ito, nag-underground na without really studying yung nangyari dito. Eh, na. Beginning with an Irvingite woman then propagated by Mr. J. and Darby, this new spirit-inspired doctrine, this strange theory originally called forth by persons in connection with the Irvingite assembly under the power of spirits. Natin. J.B. Payne, the former Old Testament professor at Wheaton College, stated the following. For soon after 1830, a woman, while speaking in tongues, announced the revelation that the true church would be caught up, raptured to heaven before the tribulation and before Christ returned to earth. Edward Irving was deposed from the ministry and died in 1834, but not before his pre-tribulationism had been introduced. Natin. At the Powers Court meetings, at yung mga nakakatanggap kay Pastor Patno ng mga materials, di ba merong Powers Court, Lady Powers Court, ginamit nila yan na proof na after the tongues meeting, pinag-usapan na yung prophecy nila sa Lady Powers Court meeting. Kung makakareceive kayo, makababasa niyo, hindi naman. Not even a mention of John Irving and this demonic, okay. Received the enthusiastic support of Darby and of others. Yan po yung allegation. Bakit natin? Now, this one po, a member po ng John Irving's church, a lawyer. Robert Baxter, a lawyer, had joined the Irvingites in London, England during the early 1830s and became one of their prophets. At some point, Baxter left the Pentecostal confusion of the Irvingites. Pentecostal po yun. In 1836, he wrote an expose titled Irvingism in its Rise, Progress, and Present State, in which we find this testimony about Irving and his followers actually held concerning the second advent. Get mo. The first testimonies from the utterance were on the nearness of the coming of Christ and of the fearful judgment which would immediately precede it. The minds of Mr. Irving and his followers had been prepared for this by a long course of prophetic study. Akit mo. And the opening and unfolding of their prophetic views formed one of the means by which the utterances commanded themselves to their conscience from God. Akit mo. This was the position of affairs when I unhappily joined them. In January 14, 1832, I became a participator in the power of utterance and was recognized by Mrs. Caird, Mrs. J. and Miss Cardell, Miss Hall, and Mr. Taplin as equally gifted with themselves in tongues speaking in. There was an utterance from Miss Cardell in April 1832 which stated that the word was true but contained the mystery. I know not what is to be inferred from Miss Cardell's message. Nothing. Okay? Not only does Baxter himself indicate that no one knew what Miss Cardell meant. That time na speaking tongues, wala nakakaintindi. Si Miss Cardell, kaya ngayon daw word niya, mystery. So where's the pre-trib teaching? Wala. Mystery. Not only does Baxter himself indicate that no one knew what Miss Cardell meant by her utterance, that the word contained a mystery, but he clearly states that the Irvingites were teaching in 1832 that fearful judgments would immediately precede the coming of Christ. Okay? Therefore, it is clear that J&D did not get his teaching on rapture from the Irvingites. Wala nga nakakalam na sinabi nung nagtangs eh. Paano ko ni J&D? Get mo? Okay. Kaya, di ba? Yeah, lumagpas mo ba? Smoke lang. After nung sipa. The source of the pre-trib rapture. Okay. Ito again, Dave McPherson has relocated the source. Hindi niya ma-prove ng gusto doon. Kay Irvingites, lumipat sa kay Margaret MacDonald. Relocated the source transfers of the teaching of the Brethren doctrine from London to Port Glasgow, Scotland in 1830. This shift involved a Margaret MacDonald in a 1971 brochure titled, Who Was Margaret MacDonald? Okay, ako. She was the young woman who originated the Brethren. Wow! Kung kalaban ka talaga ng Brethren, agatin mo agad dyan eh.
Right.
Hindi mo na pag-aaralan, pero basahin natin. According to Robert Norton's book, The Restoration of Apostles and Prophets in the Catholic Apostolic Church in London, she claimed on page 15 to have received a revelation in the spring of 1830 while living in Port Glasgow, Scotland, that Christians would be raptured before the tribulation. Something never taught before 1830. Before 1830, the church taught only what? One coming, that's post-trib. That's right. Yan lang ang known talaga. Margaret's revolutionary revelation split the second coming of Christ into two phases. First, a pre-trib, and then after the trib. One pre-trib and then is post-trib. The return of Christ to earth, her own statement covering 3 pages in Norton's book, really contains most of the major tenets found today in pre-trib dispensationalism, meeting the Lord in the air, secrecy, suddenness, invisibility, imminency, pre-trib, separation, distinction, pride, etc., etc., etc. Ito yung allegation. Tingnan natin talaga kung yung laman ng kanilang ginagawa. Mr. Mark Pearson refers us to a book by an Irving guide, R. Norton. Si R. Norton po, member ng Catholic, Apostolic Catholic Church kay Irving. The Restoration of Apostles and Prophets in the Catholic Apostolic Church, London. Page 1518, and I cite from copy located at Yale, okay? Right? The account is also found in a book by R. Norton. Get mo. Okay? This book po is memoir of James and George MacDonald of Port Glasgow, yung kamag-anak po ng Margaret MacDonald na nag-speaking tongue. This 1840 account differs from the 1861. Itong problema. Nung nag-publish po ng libro noong 1840, and then nag-publish ulit noong 1861, may nabago. Ano yun? Tingnan natin. In an important way, one tells a story. Here is the 1861 account of Margaret MacDonald's revelation after R. Norton had become a member of the Catholic Apostolic Church. Okay? Marvelous light was shed. Ito yun ha, basahin niyo. Ito po yung nakasulat. Marvelous light was shed upon Scripture, and especially on the doctrine of the Second Advent by the revived spirit of prophecy. In the following account, Miss Margaret MacDonald of an evening during which the powers of the Holy Ghost rested upon her for several successive hours, in mingled prophecy and vision, we have an instance, for here we perceive the distinction between the final stage of the Lord's coming, when every eye shall see him and his prior appearing. In glory to them that look for him. Okay. She writes, I felt, ito'y sinulat, I felt this needed to be revealed, and that there was a great darkness and error about it. Error. But suddenly, what it was burst upon me with glorious light, I saw it was the Lord himself, descending from heaven with a shout, the glorified man, even Jesus, but that all must be, as Stephen was filled with the Holy Ghost, that they might look up and see the brightness of the Father's glory. Kaya, look at this. The spiritual temple must and shall be reared, and the fullness of Christ poured into his body, and then we shall be caught up to meet him. What will you notice? Yung temple, ano yun? Matthew 24, i-resume yung sacrifice sa temple.